We like to call it the Supernatural Hour. And now, our hosts.
Hey, welcome to the Supernatural Hour. This is your host, Ravyn.
I'm Rogue.
This is Doc.
This is Chad.
I'm Emmett.
And we have Doc back with us in studio today. It's been forever.
Back from the dead.
I think you're like a busy doctor or something.
Oh my gosh, it's been a couple of months probably. I think last time I podcasted was at the end of November.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So just a heads up, COVID's been kind of running rampant, and Chad and I both had the COVID. We're still kind of gravelly voiced and hacking and coughing. We will try not to hack and cough on the podcast, but you might get a wheeze or two. We'll try to keep them to a minimum.
For the business, it's brought to you by Castle Photo Art. So go to Castle for all of your photo needs. There's also Castle Nature Studio. You can access his websites from the Advanced Paranormal page. So go on out there and schedule your photo shoots with him. So for the business, we have a new investigation that was just put up. We're going back. It's becoming springtime, and we're going back to Peteetneet. We'll be there on November. We'll be there on
Springtime.
March 19th.
We do spring different.
Yeah, that November spring, like in Australia.
Hey, we beat to our own drum on this podcast.
So we're pretty excited about that. We had a lot of people that were requesting us to come back sooner than later, and we're really excited about going back to Peteetneet.
Yeah, we usually don't revisit a venue this quickly, but we had so many people that first time say we couldn't come. You know, we had actually sold out and beyond on the tickets. We had people walking in, and when people walk in,
you take their money.
You tell them no. Yeah.
You know.
Sorry you drove down here.
And I've never been there, but you guys were telling me that it's a really active site, too.
Very active. So we're super excited to be going back.
We've even had some residentials that we're going to talk about in a little bit that were a result of our Peteetneet visit.
Well, some people forgot to say their prayers.
So we'll probably talk about that a little bit on this podcast tonight, too. I think that's it for the business that we've got going right now, but tickets are available out there, and we're excited about it. It's going to be a real fun investigation.
What were the dates again?
March 19th, Saturday.
March 19th, okay.
Yeah, we went on a Friday night the last time, and there were some people that, because of work schedules and things, said, oh, we couldn't go because we had to work, and it's like, well, we'll do it another night.
Yeah, we'll do it Saturday this time.
So we've got it Saturday, so we're really excited about it.
All right. Well, I think that takes us into residentials, and I'm going to have to jump in with you all because I didn't go. So why don't you tell me about the residential?
Yeah, Rogue, we have had residentials in South Utah County, which is super far away from Rogue, and it's hard for her to get to work the next morning when she's got to be driving halfway across the state. So we will try to get some a little further north for you. This one was in Elk Ridge.
It was about a half mile from Doc's house.
We actually drove.
And I still wasn't there.
I know, it was at a birthday party. Shame on you for, being
having a life.
That's right. It was my father-in-law.
So this was actually a different one of my cousins. She came to Peteetneet. In their defense, we've been to two of my cousins' homes now. They did say their prayers after Peteetneet, but this was something that followed her husband home from his job. He works in a dialysis unit. He runs, is a nurse technician. I'm not sure what the exact
He's a
word
nurse,
is,
yeah.
in a dialysis center. And so this one actually followed him home from work. So this one wasn't a Peteetneet one. Other cousin was. But what they were saying was happening, they have two small children in the home, and both of the children were claiming to see monsters and, not wanting to stay alone in the room. And it just kind of concerned him because it wasn't just, I know, and you're thinking, they're little kids, all little kids see monsters. And if you're listening to this and you're saying, well, my toddler sees monsters, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a ghost. Sometimes kids just see things Kids have amazing imaginations. But she was just a little concerned that this was something a little different. So, because it kind of came on suddenly, it wasn't something that slowly progressed. She said it's just as weird, so, can you come over? So we went over, and she actually had 2 spirits in her home. One was a Native American, which makes sense where they are. They're kind of up on a hill, and it's not too much further up from where they are. There's an area, and I don't know that it's documented, but it's been told to them by many different people. There's a bench that has not a mountainous bench, not a sit-on bench, that does not have any development on it because it's an Indian burial ground, and it's just been left alone. Doc's like, I've never heard of this before. Or have you heard of it?
I'd not, but I've seen the movie Poltergeist, so I know that's a bad idea.
The documentary Poltergeist?
Yeah, the documentary where they built all those houses on that Indian burial ground.
Yeah, I'll tell you where it's at later, so you can go scout it out. So, so because of that, it doesn't surprise me that they have a Native American spirit, and he was actually pretty chill. He was. I've not run into a Native American spirit that's really been
belligerent or angry or
right. They've all just been pretty chill. I mean, sometimes they might be a little anxious because of some things that are going on,
or protective.
Mm-hmm, but he was.
Was he from historical times?
We didn't ask that because we were more focused on the other spirit that was there.
Oh, okay.
But he did say, we asked him if he was a protector of the people in the house, and he said no, he was just there watching the land. So I think I just kind of assumed that he was
ancient.
A little older than newer. So there was a type 2, which is kind of the belligerent-y, more belligerent kind of a spirit, male in the home. And he was purposely scaring the kids. The kids could see him, and because of that, he was, making faces and kind of being a jerk and being where they could see him, especially at night. And the interesting thing, we had a laser grid up. We were just in one of the children's rooms. Just had a laser grid up, and waiting to see if we could see any movement in it. And we didn't see movement in the grid that was projecting up onto the wall, but we did see. It was like at the base of it kept flickering. And I thought maybe I was just seeing things. And I asked a couple of times, did you guys see that flicker? And we had Christy and Heather with us, and they both said, yeah, I'm seeing that flicker. And then we'd stare at it because I thought, well, maybe the battery's, going dead or something in it. But it wouldn't. It would hold real steady. But it flickered probably, I bet you a dozen times. But at the base, like if you looked at it, not when you looked out at the projection, but when you looked at the actual the laser grid. And hers isn't, all the laser grids I've seen except hers have been like that pen light. Hers is more of a square. It's almost the size of a Ghost Meter Pro.
Okay. But
more brick-like and less like a pen. I've got a little bit of laser envy, just FYI.
Surprise, surprise.
So I'm good with mine. So we had that, and then their youngest child was asleep in the other room, and so they were kind of watching the baby monitor. And about the time we were talking to this spirit, there was and I didn't look at it, but my cousin said there was a huge ball, and she said it's not dust. She said, and I guess this huge ball kind of came out of the crib and just straight across to where we were. And she said, she says, I've seen a lot of orbs, and I'm using my air quotes, because she knows that a lot of times orbs are dust and bugs. And she says, I've seen a lot of, little orbs on there. And she's not claiming that they're spirits, but she said this was different. She says this was huge. And she says the way it moved, was just a little bit suspicious. So I didn't see it. I can't say that it was or wasn't, but it was something very unusual on the baby monitor that we found. I didn't really get anything in pictures. I didn't really get anything in EVPs. and we sent it packing. So
Good. Excellent.
and we do have another residential again in South Utah County. Sorry, Rogue. It's in Santaquin. So we will tell you all about that at our next podcast.
That's like super South Utah County.
I know, that's almost Juab County.
It's even
Almost
south for
north,
Doc.
North Juab. Jeez Louise.
We're getting there.
Soon we'll have investigations in St. George and Mesquite, Nevada.
You know, they seem to cluster, though. You know, very rarely have I had investigations that you bounce back and forth. We seem to get little cluster bursts. So right now it's South Utah County.
Yeah, for a while it was a lot up in Salt Lake, and
It was like West Jordan, and then it was North Utah County, and then Salt Lake City. I don't know what it's all about, but we've got little clusters going on. All right.
Check out our shop at advancedparanormal.com. We've got all sorts of cool stuff there. My mug broke.
Oh no.
Yeah, the handle got busted.
Glue.
So, yeah,
Oh
maybe.
no.
So I was a little sad about that, but I guess I could always get another one. T-shirt still rocking
Now
it.
it's a glass,
Now,
right?
basically, yeah. Now it's just a glass. It doesn't have a handle anymore. Ceramic glass. But yeah, we got all sorts of good stuff there. Check it out. We are also on YouTube. We got the TikToks going.
Okay, I have to tell you a little thing about the TikTok though.
Uh-oh.
Ravyn started school, and her TikTok time has to be woven back into the fabric of my life. So if you're a TikTok follower and you're thinking, "Holy cow, Ravyn's lame," yeah, sorry, I'm getting back on the. I'm getting things figured out.
You got to schedule that kind of stuff.
I do now.
Jeez Louise.
And on YouTube, we're up to 134 subscribers, so thanks for that.
Woo!
And we're trying to, when we do the YouTube versions of the Supernatural Hour podcast, we're trying to throw in some of the pictures and things that are topical to that. If you go out and view the most recent podcast on Supernatural Hour for the crop circles on YouTube, I've thrown a lot of crop circles up there, so it's kind of fun to see some things. We're trying to become a little more topical in the pictures that are there, but it's sometimes a little hard. But we try to get some things that are of interest.
So we have a new segment. We have to come up with a name for it, but so far it's Emmett's segment, which is kind of fun.
We can, you know what? Let's keep getting suggestions, and then we'll go with the best one. Okay, we're going to try a new segment. I'm going to try to focus on usually gear. And right now, one of the paranormal forums I belong to, it's kind of been a timely topic. People are talking about ghost box and spirit boxes and how they work. And there's two schools of thought on the spirit box. And one of them is that the spirits are actually picking fragments of words and sounds from human broadcasts and then putting those together, assembling those into the messages that we hear come over as words and sentences. And the other school of thought is that they don't do that. They just need basically just the carrier wave, just the radio carrier. And that's what I subscribe to, because I've seen and been in situations where the spirit box is receiving absolutely no human broadcasts at all, and yet you'll still hear a word or a phrase come over it. So I don't think that the spirit world operates in a digital manner like that. Assembling words and bits. I don't think they've got a piece of recording tape or something they can stack those on, but what do I know? But just the fact that evidence has been received with no human broadcasts being received at all kind of proves that's not the way it works. The history of the ghost box is interesting. I just finished a book on supposedly the designer Frank Sumption. He actually built a copy of Thomas Edison's Telephone to the Dead, And that's an interesting read if you want to read that, Ghost Box by Chris Moon and Paulette Moon. And it details his experience with Thomas Edison directing an entire network of spirit guides on the other side for people who use the spirit box and the ghost box. So you'll draw your own conclusions from that. But that's about what that's what I want to do with the segment every time, maybe focus on a different piece of gear and nuances associated with it. And I thought that was timely with the spirit box and how it might work. Everyone just draw your own conclusions, but based on the evidence, that's the way I think it works, at least for now.
My experience with the spirit box, when I use it, I never get anything over the spirit box. But when other people use it, there's stuff right and left. So I don't know if the spirits just don't like how
I've gone for months and not gotten a thing. And then you'll use it and you'll get 3 words,
Mm-hmm.
Then you get nothing forever, and then you'll get a sentence.
Yeah.
It's a hit or miss thing, very much.
And the spookiest thing for me is when you hear your name.
Yeah.
Over the spirit box. It's
Especially when your name's not very common.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting, though. I didn't know about the Thomas Edison connection with the spirit boxes.
I didn't either.
That's fascinating.
Supposedly, both Edison and Tesla invented a radio for communicating with the dead. Tesla, for a while, thought his was communicating with extraterrestrials, but Edison was convinced that he was communicating with the deceased. So
really
yeah,
cool.
that's available online if you want to look that up. That's all of that information's available.
Oh, well, that sounds like fun.
So that's it. Rogue, what have you got for the bucket list?
All right. Well, the bucket list is brought to you by the Barbary Coast Saloon. Not just a bar, but also Sunday brunch. Very, very good food.
I second that.
And I would like to talk, right? You need to meet me for Sunday brunch. It's so good. So that leaves me to, I'm going to just bash this name, and I've been trying to practice, but I'm still going to bash it. And I believe it's called the Raynham Hall, and it's in England. And yes, it does come from my creepy book. However, it's like the first page. So it's a pretty cool thing. And as I was reading about it, a gentleman way back in the early 1800s, his wife busted him for cheating. So he locked her up in the attic and left her up there until she died from smallpox. And her name was Lady Dorothy Walpole, and she is now known as the Brown Lady. So we always hear about the lady in white. This is the Brown Lady because her dress is brown. So back in 1835, a gentleman went to spend the night there, and he didn't believe in the ghost. He slept with a gun underneath his pillow. He stayed for 2 nights. Nothing happened. The 3rd night, she made an appearance, and she stood there with a lantern, and she doesn't have any eyeballs, and she's floating, and she's looking very angry. And you just hear all of these stories, and honestly, I want to see one. So if I don't get to see the lady in white, I want to go see the Brown Lady in England. So that hits my bucket list.
Interesting.
So does it say what part of England it's in?
It doesn't. It just tells me England.
Okay.
I'm sure we could probably Google it.
Oh, yeah, we can Google it.
We can Google anything.
Okay, so the Paranormal Junk Drawer for today is brought to you by the Hub Theater. We will actually be going there again fairly soon, so watch for that. Not for a ghost hunt, though. For more of a
dead talk?
Not like a TED Talk, but a dead talk. All right.
Hey, yo.
So our bucket list for today is called the Ghost Adventures Drinking Game. And if you've listened to us for any amount of time, you know our feelings on ghost adventures, and we won't go into those feelings today. But if you need a little bit of a game, here you go. So grab a pen, pencil, some paper, computer, whatever you need. Jot these down. I did not come up with these, by the way. So I got these from 2 different sources. One is called Life as lindaman.blogspot.com, and the other one is a gal named Candace Gilmer. I just want to make sure that credit goes to where credit is due. So this is kind of a mismatch of both of them. So here you go, Ghost Adventures, drinking game, and I know that you'd probably have to go look at reruns because I don't think, well, maybe it's Nick that's not on it anymore. Anyway, so here you go, on current ones or reruns. Take 1 sip when Zach interviews someone who had an experience at the location. Someone says, "Did you hear that?" Someone says, "Dude," or "Bro," or someone gets goosebumps and says, "I've got goosebumps." Okay, that's 1
You won't
sip.
get through an episode. You won't even get through an
Have
episode.
some pretty tipsy
yes.
tipsy viewers.
Oh, yes. Okay. So you take 2 sips. When an orb is spotted, they play enhanced audio or the equipment malfunctions. That's a 2-sipper. Now, if you don't drink, like I don't drink, you have to, I don't know, eat candy or take a shot of hot sauce or something. I don't know.
Play with Skittles or something.
Yeah, do something. But, okay. Take 3 sips. When an apparition is spotted, a ghost child speaks or shows itself, or someone was murdered in that location. Okay, there are some additional rules. If Aaron is sent to investigate the scariest area alone, everyone must do his O face. The last person to catch on has to take a shot. Okay. You must use the words dude and bro as much as possible. If you refuse, you must shotgun a beer. Yes, shotgun. I am pathetic. I do not know what that means. Apparently, it's pretty hardcore.
That's where you bust the bottle and you pop the top and you try to sip it down, drink it down as fast as possible.
Slam it down fast.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah,
Punch a little hole in the bottom and just put your mouth over it and let it all just shoot in your mouth.
Doc also doesn't drink, just FYI.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
I
But
was
you
gonna
know
say,
stuff.
wow.
I speak the lingo, and I've seen an awful lot of people come into the ER after doing some really heavy drinking.
I have drunk like that, but it's been 40 years.
That's awesome. Okay. And then the last additional rule, all lights in the house must be off. You can light candles, but you got to get the ambiance. Now, there's some additional play rules here. If they say, "Oh my God," you take 1 shot. If they say they've got the chills, that's worth 1 shot. If Aaron gets sent somewhere bad, that's 2 shots. If you have 3 repetitions of evidence, 1 shot. If they bring on new technology, 1 shot. One of the guys swears, 1 shot.
There's a lot of bleeping
Yep.
going on in those episodes.
If Aaron stumbles, 2 shots. If the Constantinos appear, also 2 shots. And I think one of them passed away.
They both did.
Did they both? I thought
So
the
if they
husband did.
appear,
You get 3
if they
shots.
appear, you got a whole 5th of Jack or something.
No,
you
the
got down.
husband murdered the wife. It was a murder-suicide.
Oh, geez.
Did I know that? I knew one of them died. I didn't realize it was a
It's
murder
been
suicide.
several years. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously that one is going to be
if
in
they
the
appear,
reruns.
If they appear.
yeah, you got it down like a whole bottle of Jack Daniels.
Okay, so those are the things. I'm just gonna say you're probably gonna be really drunk, not very far into any of their shows. So that'll be a good time.
This is a recipe for alcohol poisoning.
Yeah. So if you
Just
want,
telling you.
if you want a drinking game and you're in the mood for a little ghost adventures, there you go. Stay spooky, my haunty friends.
Have a
Love you,
good one.
Nicholas.
Have a good one.
Hey, good
Till
night.
next time. Good night, all.
Use your tagline, Emmett.
My tagline.
What's the tagline?
Back to the future.
Oh my Doc Brown, Emmett Brown. All right.
You've been listening to the Supernatural Hour at AdvancedParanormal.com. The Supernatural Hour is part of the Radio Ronin network found at RadioRonin.com. Copyright by Advanced Paranormal Services.